welcome to the channel. My name's Connor, and I'll kind of just give you guys a brief rundown of what this channel will be about, just so you know what you guys are getting yourselves into. So, this channel will be about cars, primarily. I've been working on cars for around 6 or 7 years now, so it's something I really like to do. That F30 out there was actually my first project with my dad. The timing chains went on it, so the guides kind of went through the engine a little bit. We found some in the oil pan, so we had to replace the timing chain, the guides, and the valvetronic motor and solenoid. So yeah, that was around 100K ago, so I put on 100K since, so we know the engine's good. But this is kind of the main project you guys will be seeing. I bought this a couple weeks ago, and we'll kind of get into that in the next video. As for this video, we'll be working on my sister's E46 330 Ci, which I also picked up for her a couple weeks ago. And we're just going to be getting it ready for safety. So there's kind of a lot of things I need to do, some stuff I've already done to it, and we'll get into that. So thanks for watching. All right, we'll kind of get into the first task at hand here, which is the license plate lights, which sit in this trunk fin here, and then so is the trunk button. These weren't working. They were getting power when I tested them. They were getting the 12 volts, but they weren't working for some reason. And I realized because somebody was in here before me and probably had the same problem. Try to rewire it, and they didn't add a ground, so there was no ground. So then these lights obviously didn't work. So I looked up a wiring diagram and rewired this correctly. So I'm just gonna solder it and heat shrink it and tuck it all nice and neat, and then hopefully it works. So we'll get to that now. All right, everything's tucked back in. Lights are where they should be. Let's give it a go. All right, I got everything buttoned in, screwed in, wired in. Now hopefully it works, because if it doesn't, I will be very sad. I got like aftermarket LEDs in here because the bulbs, I couldn't find them in the hardware store, and they were like 50 bucks for 2 bulbs, and I was like, screw that. So I just got these aftermarket LEDs off Amazon. They were like 16 bucks, and they work even better than. All right. Let's go. They are both on. I don't know if you guys can see that because it's kind of bright out, but they are on. Oh, that was a pain in the ass. I thought this was going to be so easy to fix. I thought it was just like corroded connection or something, but I had to rewire the whole system. But they're both on, and then that's out of the way. So now, gonna jack the car up. We're gonna address the oil leak. Gonna clean everything up, see if it needs anything else, and then yeah. Car's up, wheels are off. Let's get under there and see what kind of mess we're working with. All right. Tray 1. Tray 2. Oh, that's a lot of oil. Yikes. All right, so we do have an oil problem for sure. This looks way worse than it actually is because it's been sitting so long. So I think just because it's been sitting so long, it's just been accumulating so much oil. But I have been reading, and people are suggesting that I should go torque them down to their, torque spec. They should be in torque pattern, just to make sure they're not loose or anything, and hopefully it tightens up the seal between the block and the pan. So let's get under there and check it out. All right, we're under the car, and there is an oil leak. It's definitely the pan, I think. Maybe not this side, but definitely, like, there's no oil coming from above the pan. None on the side of the block. Yeah, it's definitely the pan. And like, there's accumulation back there from the axles, even the diff. I'm not too sure where it's coming from. I'm gonna clean it all off, and we'll diagnose. All right, pretty much done everything. Suspension components, control arms, bushings, everything looks good, not cracked, and it's not moving. That's good. I cleaned up the oil leak. I figured out it's coming from the oil filter housing gasket. It looks like the Vanos line, and the valve cover gasket that I bought like a month ago is leaking again. So I got it off Amazon, which was probably not a good idea, but so that's leaking again, and that's about it. I'm just gonna clean up all the mess, and hopefully it passes safety. All right, back from the shop. Got the tires mounted and balanced. That was a pain in the ass, but we're gonna install them and get the car out of here. So let's get to it. All right, that's the end of the video. We'll get it in for safety next week, so you guys will probably hear about it in the next video if it passes. But now it's on to this guy. So be prepared, and thank you guys for watching.